If you're interested in trying a vegan or plant-based diet, watch this entire video. I'm going to break down the absolute essentials everyone has to have in their kitchen. Okay guys, so today's video is all about starting a vegan or plant-based diet. This is something a lot of people struggle with or are intimidated by, and the whole process can be made so much easier if you just have a few basics and really have some knowledge on really like common foods you have to replace. I think that's the biggest problem you run into is like, oh, I forgot pasta has eggs, or I forgot bread has milk, little things like that that can really stop you from like your everyday food. So that's why I've literally picked out specific foods that will be perfect for anyone that's new to this diet, wants to try it, and you won't even really notice the difference. So everything that I'm using today is from Thrive Market. I pretty much get all of my groceries and superfoods from Thrive Market because it's just a one-stop shop for everything. I love that it's delivered, and they have the exact same brands, organic, super high quality, for up to 30% off you'd find at like a regular Whole Foods or health food store. So definitely check that out. I'll put the link in my description. Okay, so the way I broke up this video was in category. I feel like the best thing to start with is healthy carbs, because the biggest complaint I hear from people switching to a vegan diet is all I'm eating is carbs, I'm gaining weight, I don't have enough protein, just little things like that. And then of course on top of it is the difficulty of carbs having milk or eggs or things. So let's start with the carb category. I have a bunch of things here, and one theme you're gonna see throughout this video is that all the foods I'm picking are really higher in protein than you'd normally think, or higher in nutrients than you normally think. And this is something you really want to pay attention to, because the traditional sources of protein that you're maybe used to growing up eating, you're not going to be getting, and it's easy to replace it with a bread that actually has no protein or a pasta that has no protein. So I'm kind of like carefully strategizing what foods I'm recommending you have so that you're always getting those extra nutrients, the extra like healthy protein and fat, and then you're not so full and you're satiated. So actually they're over here. So I've got two kinds of pasta here, and I recommend getting both of these if you're new to going vegan, and I have specific reasons for each of them. So first one is a brown rice pasta, and the second one is a chickpea pasta. They're both gluten-free, which is an additional plus. So if you are just switching, let's say you're really used to eating like traditional white pasta, and you are switching over, going right to like a chickpea or lentil pasta might not be the exact same taste that you're used to. So I would definitely recommend starting with a brown rice pasta. It's still gluten-free. The consistency is the exact same. It's like very soft. It's amazing. So brown rice pasta is a really good one. But once you're used to that, or maybe if you really just want to dive right in, I see absolutely nothing wrong with chickpea or lentil pasta. To me, like, it's a slight difference in texture, but not a bad one. So if you want to go for that, I'd recommend getting either chickpea flour, quinoa flour. You can even get like lentil flour. All of these have higher protein. Like this has 14 grams of protein in a serving of pasta, which normally has none. The brown rice pasta has 4 grams of protein, but they're both great alternatives. The important thing is they are still plant-based. You're not getting that extra dairy. You're not getting the eggs. You don't know where those things are sourced from. Oftentimes they're filled with antibiotics and hormones. So either way, you're winning with these two. So next, let's talk about other healthy carbs. So a really common mistake people will make is just having a lot of rice because they don't know what else to have. Like rice can be a big staple at dinner. So I'd really recommend getting used to quinoa. Quinoa is just such a good staple grain. I'm sure you've seen it in a bunch of my other videos if you follow my channel. I like it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I like this because it has higher protein. So one serving of this is 6 grams of protein, has more fiber and more protein than your regular grains or rice. So it's gonna give you just, again, that extra like filling feeling. It's going to make you feel satisfied after, and you're still going to be getting your protein, because I know everybody's worried about that. Next, I want to talk about bread. So this is also in the healthy carb category. So bread is a really sneaky one, because even if you find like a really great healthy bread, there's just so many things to pay attention to. It's like there's eggs, there's milk. Oh wait, but this one doesn't have eggs and milk, but there's gluten. Some people don't want to have gluten. So to make it easier, I'd recommend something like this. These are raw wraps. The name is kind of cute. It's like spelled out raw and wrap. It's literally made from veggies. So the ingredients in the back, where are they? They are organic zucchini, apple, flaxseed, coconut, spirulina, turmeric, onion, black salt. I don't even know how they make it into a bread. It's so cool, honestly. Things like this are really great because they're raw, you're getting your veggies, and you're not getting any dairy. You can also look into things like coconut wraps. I I didn't want this video to be an hour long, so I was trying to just condense certain recommendations, but the coconut wraps are also really amazing, also fit on a paleo diet. So there's lots of bread options you can get. If you're getting all of your kind of essentials, you can add this one to your list, and it's a really good one. If you do have these, I recommend heating them up a little bit so they get softer and they're like a little more pliable. Then you can wrap whatever you want in there. The last healthy carb I want to mention is lentils. This is just back to the basics. I don't have the bag because I actually cooked them last night and threw the bag out. So this is what I have left over, but lentils are an amazing staple also because, again, very high in protein, very high in fiber. As you can see, we're always kind of coming back to the same things, and health really is that simple. Like, you're really just going to the basics of what you're paying attention to in each food, and when you think about that, you can make better choices. Lentils are even great once you really get into it and want to start with creative cooking. You can boil them and really mash them into like little lentil meatballs or like burgers, but they're also just great warm or cold, and they'll add some substance, but also some protein. So now let's get into baking. I wanted to make baking its own category because I know this is definitely like a difficult area that people run into where they're like, what do you use for eggs? What do you use for milk? So we've got all that covered. Let's start with the basics. So first, let's start with flour. Now, I know flour in general does not have milk or eggs or dairy or anything that's not plant-based, but I wanted to recommend getting almond flour because, like I've been saying throughout this whole video, we want to make sure you're getting protein and fiber and healthy fats and just nutrient-dense food in everything you're eating. That big mistake that people are making is they're eating foods that are just kind of carb heavy and don't have the other nutrients they need. Almond flour is really great. Like I said, it's also kind of cool because it hits a lot of other diets. If you are doing the paleo diet or if you want to go gluten-free, it's a really good substitute, and the ingredients are literally just blanched almonds, so that's really cool. The next thing I want to talk about is plant-based milk. I mean, it's 2019. I think everyone knows there's a million plant-based milk options. I really like this one from Thrive, and there's something really unique about it. It has no gums. So gums are used a lot of times in different almond milks, coconut milks. I actually literally can never find one without unless I go to a juicery and get fresh, cold pressed almond milk that only lasts a day and is expensive. So that's just not the most practical thing if you aren't making it yourself. So I like this one because it has no gums. It's really great. You don't have to refrigerate it. So it's one of those things that I always have extra of because there's nothing worse than like pouring a bowl of cereal and not having milk, or you want to make some pancakes, you don't have milk. The good thing about it is no dairy, and you can have a bunch of extra, and then once you open it, that's when you refrigerate it. So try out this almond milk from Thrive. Okay, so I've got two categories of eggs right here. I've got chia seeds and I have an actual vegan egg. Now, the chia seeds are the one I prefer, but this is really used as an egg replacement in cooking or baking. So if you're making cookies, pancakes, a cake, anything, you can literally make a chia egg and it does the exact same thing. It's really just meant as a binder. So it's 1 part chia seed, 3 part water. So I think it's something like 1 tablespoon chia seed, 3 tablespoons of water. You let it sit for like 5 or 10 minutes and it kind of like forms that jelly, like congealed substance that happens to chia seeds. Then you just put it into whatever you're baking with your wet ingredients, and it's amazing. This is the other option. So this is by Follow Your Heart. This is like supposed to be a vegan egg replacement in terms of like actual scrambled eggs. This can also be used like as an egg replacement for baking, but I would highly recommend sticking to the chia seed because it works perfectly fine. You can also do this with flax, but I like chia better. Now, this one isn't the cleanest product in the world. Like, there are some ingredients that I don't love, but I really wanted to be realistic here. If you are eating 100% perfectly clean, non-toxic every day of your life, then I commend you. That's amazing. But, sometimes we do have cravings and we do give in, and we're not always perfect. So if there are those times where you are really, really craving scrambled eggs or that kind of flavor, and you don't want to eat eggs, this is a great replacement. You just basically mix it with water and it turns into like a scrambled egg. Follow Your Heart is a pretty cool brand. They have a lot of other products. So this is kind of like your emergency vegan egg, but I would stick with these for baking. Okay, now let's go to dairy. I highly recommend avoiding dairy, even if you don't want to go vegan or plant-based. Dairy is just so bad for you. There's so many negative effects it has. I mean, the inflammation it causes, the acidity it causes in your gut, the mucus buildup, the acne, the extra hormones you're getting from like wherever it's coming from. All around, dairy, let's just all try to cut out, especially because there's so many options. We did already that's the wrong one. We did already go through the almond milk option for plant-based milk, so I don't think I need to go over that again, but I will just mention there is now coconut milk, oat milk, almond milk, hemp milk. There's soy milk, which is the original, which I'd recommend avoiding. I mean, the list goes on and on. So you can either make it yourself or it's so accessible to go find some. So definitely milk is not an excuse. There's even like coconut and almond creamers, and they make them thicker, so they're better in your coffee. So you can even go to that. The other two dairy alternatives I wanted to talk about is this coconut butter. So this is going to be a really great one for replacing like a butter in baking. It's a little bit thicker than coconut oil. It's got a pretty cool consistency. So this is kind of more for like a creamy filling you need, or if you really want butter to make something like thicker or creamier, great in cookies, except for it's much healthier, cleaner, and it is dairy free. And then nutritional yeast, which is literally empty because I used it all. Some of these videos are just really real. Nutritional yeast is an amazing cheese replacement. So this is just going to replace any cheesy flavor you want. This brand, Bragg's, I really like. There's other brands that are out there, but this one's also fortified with vitamin B. So you've got your B2, B6, B12, and you're getting like 40% of your B12 in 1 tablespoon, 140% of vitamin B6, and 2 grams of protein per tablespoon. So anyone who's worried about going vegan and, you know, not getting enough B12, which by the way, I've been vegan for 5 years and my B12 is perfectly fine. So it's not an issue that everyone goes through. But if you are, this is great. It's fortified. You can literally sprinkle this onto a salad. I put it on my avocado toast. You can put it on like a pizza, in a wrap, really anything. It's really incredible. Okay, now let's get to protein, everyone's favorite topic. I know this is like the biggest concern. Number one, I just want to say that you don't have to worry about protein as much as you think you do. You know, I don't know of anyone who's ever gone to the doctor for protein deficiency. I don't know if you have, and you're getting a lot of protein from plants and it's kind of snuck in, but we definitely do need protein. It's important. So let's talk about ways to kind of add it in if meat and, you know, animal product was like your real source of protein. So spirulina is a really great one. This is basically a type of blue-green algae. You might have seen it in like a smoothie shop or a juice shop. It's got this like really beautiful, rich green color that, you know, it's really great. It does get a little bit messy, so be careful. Great to add in smoothies and juices. Sometimes I'll even sneak them into something I'm baking because you don't even notice, as long as you don't mind that they're green, which I think is fine. It's a really good one to add because things like this that you can just do like 1 tablespoon and it really gives you a lot of protein. I just like things like this where a little bit goes a long way. Like 1 teaspoon is a serving and that gives you 2 grams of protein. So, you know, all those little things add up throughout your day. And I don't know, spirulina is a really good one. Definitely mix it if you're doing it in a smoothie. I'd recommend mixing it with something sweet like strawberries, bananas, and that way it just kind of masks the taste a little bit. But check out spirulina for sure. And then we kind of went over the pastas with protein. This is a really great one to take advantage of. Like I said, chickpea pasta, lentil pasta, 14 grams of protein in 1 serving of pasta is really incredible. So definitely take advantage of that. And then protein powder. So protein powder, I don't love relying on 100%. Like I don't always want to have it every day. But if there is a protein powder that I want to consume, it's definitely pea protein. I mean, I've confirmed this with so many nutritionists and dietitians. Pea protein is just digested so much easier in your body versus other kinds of protein. This one I found, this brand is the absolute cleanest I've ever found. It's literally just organic yellow pea protein. Other ones have some kind of filler or something else in them. So this is super simple, not sweet, and there's nothing else in it, but it doesn't taste like anything. So I love to start everything as plain as possible, and then I'm in control of how it gets sweetened up. Adding a little cinnamon, a little stevia, adding a little cacao powder. Sometimes maybe I don't want to go the chocolate route. You can add some like other flavors. But I like getting everything plain. So if you do want to try protein powder, get this one. It's digested the best. It's going to give you a lot of protein. This one's 15 grams per serving. So definitely try this, and I'll make sure I link it below. And last but definitely not least, let's talk about dessert, because dessert is something that we all love to indulge in. And I mean, it'd be a really hard life if you just had to give up dessert completely, and you don't have to do that as a vegan. I literally have never once felt deprived on dessert as a vegan. Like, I'm being completely honest. There are so many options. Chocolate on its own, in its purest form, does not have milk. Chocolate comes from cacao, which comes from a cacao plant, and there's no dairy. That's just added after with milk chocolate. So there's plenty of chocolate we can get without it. These are some of my favorite ones on Thrive. I love these Lara bars. If you follow my Instagram, I talk about Lara bars a lot because of all bars or nutrition bars or protein bars, these have the most simple, clean ingredients. Like this one has just 4 ingredients. It is dates, peanuts, chocolate chips, which is unsweetened chocolate, sugar, cocoa butter, and vanilla, and sea salt. So super simple ingredients. They've got so many flavors. This one was the peanut butter one. You can get other chocolate flavors. It's a good like middle of the day pick me up. And just so you know, there is a point in eating really clean. Like the less ingredients you're putting into your body, the less foreign it is, and the less your body has to work to break it down. And if it has to do a lot of work, and if there's all these kinds of chemicals, it's not going to get fully digested. It's going to cause a lot of toxicity and buildup. So that can affect everything, our skin, our energy. So that's why I always stress eating super simple and clean. Definitely want to recommend 4 Sigmatic hot cacao. I'm actually so glad Thrive sells these because now it's easier to just get everything from one place. But this is my absolute favorite drink. It literally tastes like hot chocolate. It's got like mushrooms. This one has reishi mushroom, cacao. The sugar is 2 grams of sugar. The reishi is actually really calming. So this is a perfect late night dessert. I always have this after dinner because the reishi will help me like kind of get calm, and it promotes restful sleep, and then it's got that chocolate taste. And then for baking, anything really, Lily's dark chocolate chips. I've talked about these for years. This has been my favorite brand for a long time. I like that it's sweetened with stevia. As you can see, I always stick to the same things I like. I love that it's sweetened with stevia. I actually keep them in the freezer because I find that when chocolate's colder, I don't like indulge in as much. It makes me eat a little bit less. So just like 4 or 5 chocolate chips will kind of satisfy that, but you can use these for anything. Baking, I've even melted them down and made my own little almond butter cups or peanut butter cups, which is actually really cute. If you guys want that recipe, let me know in the comments. I'll do a video on it. But that covers dessert. And then I have a few extras I wanted to share also that didn't really fit into these specific categories, but this one is vegetable broth. I know that a common staple used in a lot of households is chicken broth, but I just wanted to let you know that was kind of the point of this video. Anything that you're used to eating, growing up eating, you can replace vegan. So this is vegetable broth. I wanted to make sure I got a low sodium one because just to throw that in, we don't want to be bloated. Too much extra salt is never good. So this one's really good. The sodium is what, like 105% sodium, really low. So check this one out. Easy for, you know, making soups, or even if you're like cooking quinoa and you want to give it a little extra flavor, you can replace the water with vegetable broth, and then it will make it a little more savory. And then I thought this was really cool. This is a B12 like organic spray, and you can just spray this. It's basically a supplement. And I know B12 is something that people are concerned about, and some people are deficient in because it is found in a lot of animal products. I really like this one because it is vegan, it is organic, and oftentimes like supplements are another one that will really get you because, you know, a capsule that's a multivitamin could have gelatin, which is made from beef. And there's just so many gross things that can go into a lot of supplements. So I like this one because it's clean, you spray it, it's flavored, it tastes good, and you'll get a little boost of B12 for energy. That concludes this video. Like I said, these are all meant to be staples just for your basics. Obviously, you can go into so many other like really cool recipes, but I don't think any other video has been like this helpful in terms of something so specific. Like really, if you're trying to go vegan or plant-based, I'd recommend all of these to have in your house. They're things that you will use. They don't go bad very quickly, so just keep them there. They're great for emergencies. I'll make sure to link all these products below. I'll link them specifically so that you guys can just go right to the item. I'll also put a specific link below for Thrive Market that will get you 25% off your first purchase and a 30-day free trial membership. So that's really cool. Everything will be left below. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.